NBA, what's the channel called? NBA News and Highlights. Back at you. Now we're gonna talk about coaching. I always said if I was coaching Ben Simmons, let's say he can't shoot, don't want to shoot, whatever. All right. If I'm the coach, hey Ben, we're gonna run a little pick, and we're gonna run a pick around the free throw line, around the elbow, whatever. The guy gonna set a pick. You're gonna run around that pick, and then you're gonna get the big man on you because you done made the switch, and you're just gonna pull up in front of that lazy big man that's not gonna step up. You're just gonna pull up and shoot. Okay? And B gonna get out your way or whatever, and you're just gonna pull up and shoot. If you don't shoot, I'm gonna sit you. When I put you back in the game, we're gonna run that same play again. And if you don't shoot, I'm gonna sit you. Like, you gotta coach these mugs. Pat Riley ain't scared to coach his team. And that's why the Heat do good, because they got a guy like Jimmy Butler that's, if you got Butler sitting there and he working hard and following the rules, shoot, what everybody else gonna do?
That helped too, though. So it helped to have the Chris Pauls on your team. But like you saying, with Ben Simmons, I think Doc Rivers handled that situation. He handled it poorly. Because you had Embiid that said what Simmons did about passing up the layup. And then you had the coach, which is, kind of the father of the team, if you will. And he come right behind you and say the same thing. So now you got Ben Simmons looking at a guy that's his brother and his father, saying that he was the reason that y'all just got kicked out the playoffs. And you, his father, so he looking at you for mentorship or whatever. So when you down to him, then his brother down to him, and if he already not stable, or maybe not mature enough as a man, these boys is still young in the league, not fully mature. How you expect the situation to go? You didn't handle it like a coach, and just because the season was over and the game was over. I mean, your coaching wasn't over, and he acted like his coaching was over just because the series was over.
And and you're not saying that, and I'm sure you're not saying that you excuse what Ben Simmons doing. You just saying look at it from the other side, because you right. Because
I'm saying I never thought about that till just now. When you said that, I never cut Ben Simmons off. I never let him off the hook for the way because I don't think nah.
But to an extent, it is Doc Rivers' job to get the best out of his players.
That's your job. That's your job as a coach. So if your man is scared to take a layup, which was wide open, at that time in the game, and you done had all year to coach him up, man, I gotta say something about you.
Say something about you. And that's leadership one-on-one is everything is your fault.
Man, I don't care if you gotta sit him in a room, just y'all two, and say whatever you gotta say to him to get him prepared to play this series. He wasn't prepared mentally or physically for that series.
That's it, man. That's it. And Embiid had some playoff failures. He ain't one that should have been doing no talking either, but Doc should have, as the coach, you have to get the most you can out of your players. And that's the bottom line. Now, if a player won't let you coach them, then you need to be like Popovich. And people say, Pop, like, if Tim Duncan would have played, like, man, people don't understand how good Tim Duncan really was, man.
A lot of people don't.
Tim Duncan got 5 rings. Tim Duncan has more all-defensive selections than anybody in NBA history. Anybody. Tim Duncan been on 15 all-defensive teams. Kobe Bryant was on 12. Michael Jordan was on 9. Like, LeBron was like 6. Tim Duncan, man. Tim Duncan. If somebody want to say Tim Duncan the GOAT, I'm not going to, I don't think so, but at the same time,
it's an argument.
I ain't going to say they stupid.
But you know why he's frowned upon? This is going off the track that we on, but he just ain't flashy.
Yeah.
He don't hit the threes. He ain't hit the behind the back passes. He ain't dunk on you.
And he let Popovich coach him.
He just dropped the ball in the rim.
But see, Popovich play style, the way Popovich
and he was
ran,
coachable.
Yeah, Pop ran it where, like, he just didn't have that freedom, man. He not gonna let you go 1-on-1 all game long. You're gonna play the right way. So that kind of hurt Duncan's stats. You know, if Tim would have been in another situation, he probably would have averaged 10 more points a game. You know, but then at the same time, he listened to his coach. It got him 5 rings. You know, so, you know, that's the thing, man. If Tim Duncan would have ran his mouth a lot, man, people would have looked at Tim Duncan a whole different way. Yeah. He grew up with no shoes. He grew up in Brazil or somewhere in South America or something with no shoes. So when people like Shaq and stuff was trying to push on him, Tim ain't crazy. He like, man, you don't know what I've been through. Y'all think y'all had it tough because y'all grew up in the hood, man.
Well, that's one thing, man. It ain't the hood. You know? We just come from the hood because black people good at basketball, and that's what that's what we do in the hood. We play ball so that we end up majority of people that make it end up coming from those inner cities. But but like you say, I was gonna say something else. But shoot, you got somebody like Giannis.
Yeah.
Grew up with selling trinkets on the street, taking what little money he made, him and Giannis and them back to his mama, and they live whatever they lived in.
I'm glad you brought Giannis up.
So they, and somebody like him that don't even know the American grit, only know his toughness only come from because he had to endure what he had to endure, and he had no choice but to make it. A lot of American toughness come from just us being the American bravado. We know we're supposed to have it because we're American and we know we the baddest nation. Yeah. That's just in us. But somebody like Giannis who got in, you see how he play. He ferocious because he letting out all that built up from them grease streets.
Now, who was Giannis playing in the playoffs when he got put out and they said, why didn't you guard that person? And he was like, because the coach didn't tell me to. That was the year Kawhi won. Who did he played Kawhi? Who did he didn't play the Sixers, so I know it wasn't Jimmy Butler or Embiid because Kawhi put them out. So it had to be Kawhi. I think they asked him why didn't he go defend. It couldn't have been Kevin Durant because he was injured.
I don't remember.
So who else was popping in the East? That was it. The 76ers and the Raptors. Because that's all they could have put. Yeah, the Raptors put him out because they put the wall up. Yeah, they put the wall up on him.
Miami put him out.
Miami put him out 1 year also.
Year 4 days.
But I'm talking about before that. I think it was when they played Kawhi and they asked him why didn't he go defend somebody. He said because the coach didn't tell me to. And now it seemed like an excuse, but at the same time, Giannis grew up. He got a different mindset. Coach, I'm following you. I believe in what you're saying. And, it's something to that because he did end up winning a championship. It's something to following your coach. Now, I do believe that some of these coaches ain't up to par, shouldn't be coaching, but you got to follow your coach. It is basketball 1-on-1. 101, your principles, man. You got to follow the game plan. Now, at the same time, the coaches these days, you got to switch it up, too. Like, if you're getting your head bust open, man, you got I look at the Warriors. The Warriors come out there, all right, we're going to shoot three. We're going to shoot three. Threes ain't falling. What is Steve Kerr changing out there when the Warriors getting their head bust wide open?
First of all, I say, I might be wrong, but I don't think Steve Kerr coached them at all, man.
He don't. They just...
Steve Kerr don't coach them boys, man.
Draymond coaches.
Like he said himself, I got the easiest job in the world or something. Mm-hmm. He don't coach them boys, man.
He don't, man.
Especially when Kevin Durant was there, he wasn't doing nothing. He was sitting back with his popcorn. Yeah. And like what you just said, I mean, coaching matters because when you look at Kevin Durant and them on the Nets, when they got KD, Kyrie, and all them, first thing they said, we don't need no coach.
First thing.
And look at where they at now. They They was already not good in having adversity. Then they got James Harden, still had more adversity and never came to fruition. Now you done lost him, you still having adversity. And they not looking like the favorites in the East. Period. Chicago looking better than them.
And they ain't got no defense. None.
Oh, no defense.
Zero.
You got people who you don't even know. Almost. They'll be like, you know what I'm saying? You got Claxton out there getting big minutes, man.
But that's the whole thing, man, is these boys don't want to be coached. They don't want to listen. They don't want to, and at the same time, the coach is scared to coach. Because if the coach, he going to get fired because they going to pick the... Man, I heard, I think it was Eddie Johnson talking. And he said back in the day, like, let's say you Trae Young or somebody. And Trae Young go to the Hawks management and say, hey, man, I need some more help. I'm trying to win a championship. They supposed to say, that's what we got you for. That's why we pay you. We are paying you all this stuff about it. I ain't got enough help. You are the help. That's why you getting paid. Period. You getting paid
to a certain
to
extent.
win.
To a certain extent.
Now,
You gotta have that. You gotta have that number 2, man.
I'm just saying that
I know.
when this whole I need help thing,
I ain't with too much complaining.
yeah, that's you getting
All the
paid to
crime.
win. All right, so you can't just be like everybody on that team is getting paid to win. So that's
Trae Young.
I'm not saying he did.
Yeah, I'm just saying that would be a bad example because he ain't got no number 2 over there. But
you got, hey man, John Collins ain't no.
John Collins ain't, man.
He ain't no slouch, man.
He ain't no slouch.
But then Trae Young play style, man. He kind of, he real ball dominant. To me, I wouldn't want. I don't know. That your point guard being your best scorer, I don't know. Because to me, I feel like if I was playing, like, bro, I got. Let me touch that orange thing. Like, let me see what it's like. Can I? To me, because John Collins did call Trae Young out last year.
About what?
He said he didn't like the way the offense was running.
Not calling him out or calling the coach out.
That's both. Who the one gonna tell?
hand.
Is the coach gonna tell Trae, hey Trae, look, you got to get these guys more involved. Now the coach scared because he know Trae the future, and they'll ship his butt right up out of there.
That's what I'm saying.
But see, I couldn't be no coach.
Because the NBA is ran by the stars
Ran
today.
by the stars.
You a star,
Yeah.
you run it. LeBron started it, and that's what we got. That's why, like you said the other day, you were saying you got top 75 players of all time, like James Harden, playing on 3-4 teams in 3-4 seasons.
That's crazy.
How usually that's when you look at a buster, somebody that's trash, played on 6-7 teams. These days, the Hall of Famers is playing on 3-4 teams in 3-4 seasons.
The Hall of Famers is the journeyman now.
It's ridiculous.
The Hall of Famers is the journeyman.
And it's because they chasing the wrong thing. Like I said, instead of being coachable, instead of playing defense like your life depend on it, and being great teammates, you worry about teaming up with the hottest man that you can think about. Whoever hot, I'm finna go team up with him, and it look good on paper. And we already know anybody who a real fan of any sport know the paper lie almost every time. And that's why you got these dudes bouncing around 24/7, and they ain't happy.
And if y'all don't believe what we saying, really watch a game. Watch the way teams come out and just watch to see in the big game. I'm talking about the big games now. I ain't talking about Pelicans and I'm talking about watch the big games and watch how if a team down, what are they coming out doing different at the half or in the fourth? What's the adjustments being made? Is they ain't doing nothing.
It's just like when you watching UFC and you know it's a championship fight. And you been getting your butt kicked for 4 rounds. And your corner is telling you, this is, you gotta get him, you gotta kill him, you gotta knock him out. And every single time. I swear, every single time that 5th round come around, they come out there lackadaisical and playing around. Man, if I was getting my butt whipped, now I know I'm losing on the cards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm coming out there, man, like a windmill. I'm trying to catch your jaw. I'm fighting like crazy. Like my mama is somewhere chained up on the railroad.
That's all you can do.
And that's how a lot of these guys, these NBA players, they not coming out like they want to win.
Yeah.
They playing with these dudes, like playing with these. Not saying everybody in the NBA can win. Like
that's
guys
true.
always say,
that's true.
These guys is NBA players. The Rockets is like 16-40, but play with them if you want to on it right now.
Yep. Anybody, if them guys get pissed and make their mind up, anybody can win. And that's true, man. Because I've seen times. I'm gonna tell you one time when I really seen a team make their mind up is when LeBron then was playing Curry in that year that they came back 3-1. That I don't know what happened. I guess we don't know all the inner workings, but something happened with LeBron and Kyrie. I heard some people say it's because Kyrie, if they go back and rewatch it, you'll see Kyrie started just going off in those games. Yeah. And that is true because Kyrie was giving it to Curry. He was giving Curry everything he could, want plus more. So, but, it got to come a time where you realize we grown men out here. If you got my back, I got your back. Let's get it. And that's it, man. You make your mind up and play defense. Man, if you just play defense, you'll win 40 games in the season. You'll make the playoffs easy. Just play D, man. Now, will you win the championship? Yeah, you do need some offense. You got a team like the Cavaliers, but look at the Cavaliers. Jared Allen just got hurt, so you know.
You was hurt.
He didn't hurt it, broke his thumb, fractured a finger or something, man. So
they was gonna get somebody some trouble.
Yeah. But let's say if they at full strength, if they play hard, and the way people be getting hurt these days,
they can get past.
They
get out the first round.
Yeah, they'll get past the first, get in the second round. The way people get hurt these days, you don't know who gonna win. Honestly, you don't know who gonna win. People get hurt. Like, look, Kevin Durant. You can't bank on Kevin Durant.
Might be dropping like flies.
You can't bank on Kyrie. Kyrie hurt every postseason.
Bank on him less than Kevin Durant.
Yeah, you can't bank on KD and Kyrie. They can go out any second. They can be gone. Any second. So anybody got a chance to win. And then over there in the West, you can't bank. Look, Draymond got back problems. One good fall and Draymond out of there. Mm-hmm. You can't count on Clay. Just came back off of Achilles and a hamstring. You can't count on Clay. And that's why these guys, look at Chris Paul, constantly hurt every single year. James Harden, he ain't hurt every year, but he
either hurt or tripping.
And then you got Embiid, by the playoffs, Embiid be kind of wore out too. So,
you finna see something these playoffs. Embiid ain't finna play.
He'd be all right, but I'm just saying, teams, you never know, man. You always got a chance, man. That's why you got to be ready.
You boys be hurt these days.
You got to be ready. Mugs get hurt. So many people get hurt. Man, that's what I wanted to talk about. Is we wrong? We rolling. I checked it, right?
Coaching.
What's this? This is the coaching video. We still on that. All right, we're going to talk.
What you mean? You looked 6 times.
I couldn't remember, man. I done got mixed. We be back. We just talked. This we talked about coaching. Next one, I want to talk about injuries and toughness. How is these players really tough these days? Back in a minute. Boy, you better find you a thing to say, man.